Welcome to another video of Info VR. As you remembered, my last video was about the Tomorrow's Pioneers and part 1, and I am now working on part 2. Well, I am talking about part 2, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, let's get into that, you know, because we got a lot to cover, and I'll try to be more specific with things because I realized in my last video I was just talking nonsense all the time. So I kind of wrote a script, so this should be more leveled, you know. So yeah, let's get into that bullshit. So after Farfor's death, you know, the world went crazy, you know, like everybody, like it was just, you know, something crazy, you know, to kill off a character in a TV kids show that was a character that manipulated children into martyring, as if you remember that word from last video, to martyr themselves. So yeah, it's really crazy, you know, like what will the show do next? What will they do with this fresh air that they just opened up for themselves? So basically, yeah, season 2 came out, you know. Nobody actually expected that. Nobody, not even, I'm pretty sure not even the show people did. Like, I'm serious, they didn't even know either. Like, on their first episode, they didn't even have like a mascot or a cartoon character, you know. Well, not cartoon character, you know, like a person in a suit. They didn't have that. It was just Sarah, which I barely have mentioned, but of course she barely plays any part in this show, you know. It's just the guys in the costume that play most of the parts. But yeah, it's just Sarah interviewing kids, and oh, by the way, they had a call segment, you know, where they call kids and they're like, oh, what do you think of this? And like, suck my pussy, you know. It's just random shit going on. But yeah, basically what happens is that one of the kids is like, I will turn around and fight a Jew till he dies, or something like that. I'm not sure. Really crazy, really crazy. But that's basically what happens. And you know, the people of the show realized that the reviews went like downhill, you know. And that's when something, you know, sparked in them, you know. We should introduce a new character. And that is exactly what they did. So let's hop onto season 2, my bad. Episode 2, where the tragedies start. Season 2 starts off pretty calm, you know. I actually finally found, I found out that I was mistaken, you know. There were actually hundreds of clips of the show, which I will now show, you know, of this. And it basically just shows like why, like, the new character, which heads up the character, is called Nasul or Nahul, one of those two, I kind of forgot. But it's Nahul or slash Nasul the bee, because it's a bee character. And yeah, it's basically why he gets introduced. Well, they play it off pretty casually. And yeah, so let's roll the clip.
من أنت؟ ومن أين جئت؟ أنا نحول. ومن نحول؟ أنا نحول ابن عم فرفور. وماذا تريد؟ أريد أن أواصل مشوار ابن عمي فرفور. وكيف تريد أن تواصل؟ أريد أن أكون في كل حلقة معكم في برنامج رواد الغد كما كان فرفور.
So as we just saw, yeah, you know, he's still gonna follow the same steps as his cousin. And if you actually watched the clip, you would have paid attention that he is Farfor's cousin, which is crazy to think that, you know, your cousin died by a Jew, and you want to follow the same steps of killing yourself. A quote from the show being, wanted to follow the steps of his cousin, you know, because he wanted to follow the steps of his cousin, of heroism and martyrdom. So basically, martyr. And, just martyr. And of mujahideen, which means guerrilla fighters in Islamic countries, especially those who are fighters against non-Muslim forces. I honestly don't know what that means. So yeah, I want to take a moment to talk about a few things. One of the things I would like to talk about is just how crazy, the lengths of this show has gotten. Like, they are willing to actually create a brand new character out of the top of their asses just so that they can keep on manipulating children to martyr themselves, hate Jews, and fight for their, patriotic. But yeah. Basically, it's just crazy how everything goes, and it's just crazy, and trust me, it gets more aggressive actually from here on out. In the season, it gets slightly more aggressive from here on out, because later seasons they're like slightly more tame. But actually, in this season, it's one of where one of the most like intense moments of the show is recorded in. Well, not record, like, here's where they capture the most like intense scenes. Now, like I've said again, not all of the show has been found. Like, all of this has been from like data mining and everything, so don't take it 100% from me. I would recommend you find your own sources and believe what you believe in that source, because there's different stories, different sources. So yeah, let's go into season 2, episode 4. I'm trying to go as chronological as I can, so let's get into that episode. So here in season 2, episode 4, it's called Nahul's Big Day Out. Now you may be thinking, big day out? Now what the fuck does that mean? I don't know either. But apparently this is like the few episodes where they actually go out in public, and it's quite interesting. But yeah, basically what happens in this episode is Nahul, keep that in mind, an animal character, goes to a zoo and harasses cats. Like, actually harasses cats. And I don't mean like sexually or like, gets all zesty with them. I'm talking like because it's apparently in one of the clips, it's like Nahul entering like a cage, and he sees like a bunch of cats, right? And he sees a cat sleeping, and I think he says, "Oh, I see a cat sleeping. Let's harass it." And what I mean by harass is like literally picking it up, from like its neck, and then just like tossing it, like legit tossing it, like they're like, just fucking picks it up and there's like later pussy and tosses it. It's crazy because he just walks in, what's up, buckers, and just starts fucking throwing cats around like nothing, And then I think he also harasses some lions, and you might be asking yourself, does he like fucking throw lions? No. Basically what he does is just like tease him, he stands in front of them, because just kind of puts his hand, and then, stupid shit, throws rocks at them. It's crazy. But when they get back to the studio, Sarah, which again, I have to mention again that she is a character in this show, she's like, bitch, you crazy, like, Nahul, this is not good, okay? Not good, not okie dokie. I don't like this type of attitude. And Nahul's like, oh, my bad, I'll never do it again. Of course they never do that again, because he doesn't even go out. And spoiler alert, he died. In the segment that I'll be talking about, Sarah and Nahul, they're in like a little lobby, like it's decorated, like colors, butterflies, everything is so pretty, It's like if this was painted, but like in a super fashionistic My Little Pony type, because that's basically what pretty is, or childish is, whatever. So yeah, here's where it gets interesting, you know. So Sarah asks his co-host, Nahul, hey, so what are you doing for this celebration? Are you gonna go out with your family or something? And here's where it gets kind of morbid. So what happens here is that Nahul's voice kind of changes, you know, and I'm not saying, because I don't know if you remember the segment where he introduces himself, it's like very high pitched. No, it turns into like a person, you know. I'm talking like regular voice, you know. It sounds like the actual person speaking, and that's what kind of makes it more terrifying for what he is just going to say, saying that he has no family to celebrate it with. Now you may be asking, what the fuck? This isn't morbid. Well, it's because he says that his family died or has been murdered, or some even committing suicide. Well, let me correct that. They martyred themselves, and he has no one to celebrate it with. And Farfour, being like his only cousin, I guess, is, you know, he's not gonna do anything. He can't celebrate it with anyone. And I want to take a quick moment to talk about how weird it is that Farfour, being a mouse, is cousins with Nahul, that is a bee. I'm not really good at biology, but that I don't think that's how it works. You know, they don't have common ancestors or anything. Like, how does a mouse relate to a bee? And I actually don't want to know. I don't know, like, I'm just getting weird images in my mind now, and I don't want to know. So, yeah, just little side thought, you know, just imagine, like, his, you know, Farfour's dad being, like, Mickey Mouse grandpa, you know, giving fucking back shots to, like, a bee or something. Like, I kind of don't want to imagine it anymore. But, yeah, that's kind of what I'm guessing happened. So, yeah, let's just continue on from here. Before we get into the next episode, I would like to clear out that, basically, from here, the episodes went blank, you know? I'm talking like, they couldn't really find any new episodes, or that is what it is said to happen, because apparently the show went off air for a few weeks, which I'm pretty sure that did not happen, and I'm guessing, you know, they just kept on doing it, but, you know, they haven't been found or anything yet. So, for the sake of this video, I will be just naming the next episode, well, episode 5, which is called Nahul and Saras, Feast of Sacrifice Extravaganza. Now, you may be wondering, Feast of Sacrifice sounds quite intimidating. But no, it's actually like a tradition that they celebrate, and it is called Eid al-Adha. The Feast of Sacrifice is the most important feast in the Muslim calendar. It celebrates the willingness of the Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son Ismail in submission to Allah's command before he was stopped by Allah. Or Allah. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and I'm sorry for any person who gets offended by this. But yes, that's basically what it is. It's just like a celebration for them, you know, easy, not as offensive or crazy as, you know, any other thing that has happened on this show. And let's get into some disturbing part. Let's get to the most disturbing part of the episode, and may I say, most disturbing part of the season, and possibly the whole show. We're talking about a guy, and if you find the clip somehow, which I've actually seen it, the guy actually starts crying. Like, you can hear whimpering in his, like, voice, you know, like, yeah, oh my god, I'm a little pussy crying because my family died. Now, of course, this is serious, but I just kind of want to make something stupid out of this. So, yeah, that's kind of what happens, you know, that, well, apparently if Nahul's actor's backstory is that his family died, or most of his family died, and some have been murdered, some have been killed, some have, just died. So it's a sad situation, but like I've said again, I do not give a fuck, because again, it does not affect me. Now let's continue. So the next part that happens is quite interesting, okay? So basically a little, behind the scenes. So basically 4 people from the studio were kidnapped, okay? Now, of course, they were brought back, but in that time frame, that 1 month, the show was not heard of, which is crazy, it was not heard of. There weren't new episodes. There was nothing. There was an absolute nothing. But what happened was that the show came back, after a month, a little break, it came back, and we get a lot of stuff coming up. One of the things was that Nahul, so basically the episode starts with Nahul in a hospital in his deathbed. Yeah, he just straight up died. Apparently he has like testicle or ball cancer. He has like dick pneumonia. I'm not even sure if that's real. I just made some word up. And his mother, which apparently is still alive, although I'm surprised because he said like his whole family just died. But no, I'm mistaken that I watched the clip again and just said that his mom has diabetes. So I'm not sure why he's crying about it. I mean, almost everyone gets diabetes. Like, what the hell? But yeah, that's not important. So yeah, his mom's like, oh my god, I have diabetes. But okay, let me get to the important. Yeah, Nahul can't get his treatment, and you may be, as a viewer, asking, why the fuck won't he get his treatment? I want to have him back. I don't want him to die like the other character. I do not feel any emotion for this character. Basically what happens is that his mom is like, we can't go to Egypt because fucking Israelis, I have nothing against Israelis, don't let us pass. Now, like, really, and Nahul was just crying like a bitch. Oh my god, it hurts. Deal with it, bitch. So basically, they can't pass to Egypt because Israel, as in where most Jews, if I'm correct, live, they're like, yeah, no pussy. So, yeah, he can't get his treatment, So he can't get that Zaza, he can't get the perks. So of course he's at the point of dying, which he actually does die on that episode, and yeah. He just dies, just se muere, it's crazy, and yeah, so Nahul just like dies, and they somehow try to throw shade of red again on the Jews, so the Jews were like, yeah, we're not having that shit. You already played us like fools with Farfor. So what we're gonna do is just like fucking destroy Nahul, like make him perish, They're gonna have him like all dead, like they're just gonna kill him off, and that is basically what happens. I don't know why I had the little moment of silence, but yeah, that's basically what happens. That's really what happens the whole episode, and it is crazy. So yeah, that's basically the end of season 2. Another character dead. So yeah, that's 2 so far, Farfor and Nahul. So now, Farfor was the cousin of Nahul. It doesn't make sense, but it works. And yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. That's literally how it ends. So yeah, that's season 2. Well, I hope you enjoyed this second part of our mini series here called Tomorrow's Pioneers, and next week or whenever I can, I will try to bring you part 3, as in season 3 of this fabulous show with very childlike content. And yeah, it is just crazy, and yeah, it really just gets crazier from here. We got 2 more characters left, and yeah, as in the next 2 seasons, because each season they bring a new character in. And surprisingly, Sarah actually stays for the whole show, for the whole show. My bad. And yeah, so by the end of the 4 seasons, as in part 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'll be working on part 5, which I'll be talking about, you know, more of the background of the episodes or the show. You know, I'm talking like this is the main series, and then back here we have like the backstory, you know, the real life situations, you know, and I'll be taking that piece by piece. So if some plot holes don't really make sense, that part 5 may make a slightly more sense, since I'll be talking about like the background stuff, you know. So like if a character got shot, then I'll talk about it on part 5 and just be like, oh, he died. And well, point is, I'm getting confused, but point is, you know, part 5 would just be like a backstory. Like it'll take place during all 4, but in the back sides, you know, behind the scenes, and it'll be quite interesting. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and InfraVR out.